Now, the Sri Lankan government has blamed local jihadist group National Thowheed Jamath for these terror attacks. What is the National Thowheed Jamath? It's a group believed to have been splintered from a hardline Islamist group in Sri Lanka called the Sri Lanka Thowheed Jamath. The parent group, the Sri Lanka Thowheed Jamath, is known for its hatred against Buddhists. In 2016, their secretary was arrested for inciting hatred against Buddhists. Remember, the Sri Lanka Thowheed Jamath has condemned these terror attacks that happened yesterday. They are not to be confused with the NTJ. Now, the National Thowheed Jamath was linked to vandalism of iconic Buddhist temples in central Sri Lanka in 2017. It preaches a puritanical form of Islam. It is believed to have originated from eastern Sri Lanka in 2014. This group has been pushing for Sharia law in the region. They want women to dress only in burqas. They have minimal social media presence. Look at what we found. Their Facebook page gets updated only once in many weeks. Their Twitter page has not been updated in over a year. The group's website is now offline. We do not know if it was taken down before the attacks or after the attacks, but this group represents a fringe extremist religious minority. Remember, only 1 in every 10 people in Sri Lanka is a Muslim. Less than 10% of the population is Muslim. The majority religions are Buddhism and Hinduism. Buddhism more than 70%, Hinduism more than 12%. So far, the National Thowheed Jamath has not claimed responsibility for these attacks. So is it even right to discuss them and to link them with these attacks? The answer is yes, and here is why. In a tweet, Sri Lanka's telecommunications minister, Hiren Fernando, put out a document sent by Sri Lanka's police chief last week. That document was a warning that the National Thowheed Jamath was planning to attack churches and the Indian High Commission. That's not all. This document also names the NTJ's leader, Mohammad Zehran. The Jerusalem Post reports that the alleged suicide bomber and mastermind behind these attacks on the Shangri-La hotel is Islamic extremist Maulvi Zehran Hashim. He was a lecturer for the National Thowheed Jamath. In fact, some of the suspects arrested by the Sri Lankan police are students of a preacher named in this very document, so the links to the NTJ are not entirely unfounded. Now, the listing of the Indian High Commission as one of the targets should also ring alarm bells in New Delhi. A foreign link to the suicide bombings is also a huge possibility. After all, the NTJ is not considered sophisticated enough to carry out terror attacks of such a massive scale. Come the 16th of May, it would be 10 years of the end of the LTTE in the island nation. The civil war left a huge trail of terror in the country. More than 80,000 people were killed. And just as Sri Lanka seemed to be moving on from the ghosts of the nasty ethnic war, terror attacks have struck again.